Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title, today I'm going to do a fun, cozy little self-care day vlog. So because I work full-time and then I also do YouTube and blogging, a lot of times on Saturdays there's at least some amount of work I need to get done. And then as I mentioned in another video, I've been trying to set aside Sundays for practicing the Sabbath. But I have just found that during quarantine, especially for whatever reason, I have felt really unmotivated when it comes to getting work done on Saturdays. I get to the end of the work week and I just don't want to do anything anymore, which is totally fine and it makes sense, but there are still usually some things I need to get done on Saturdays, and I'm typically pretty divided with how I approach work and rest. So usually if there's things I need to get done in a day, I won't do any sort of self-care, treat yourself type things until those are done. But I decided today to sort of sprinkle in some fun self-care things throughout the things I need to get done today, throughout the work, to just mix it up a little bit and give myself some things to look forward to and just see how that goes. Again, normally I don't want to let myself relax until everything is done, but I'm just going to try it out and see how it goes, mixing it all in. And so I figured I would make this fun little vlog to give you guys some ideas of fun little self-care things that you can do to even sprinkle throughout your day, even if you don't have, you know, a whole day to set aside for bath bombs and at-home spa treatments, because that's not really reality. So I'm just going to take you along with me. I do actually have to film a video today, so that's probably the biggest thing on my to-do list, and then also get some editing done. But before I jump into that, I'm going to take some time to do some journaling and then also some stretching. So I've been trying to work out about 4 days a week, but then on the days I don't work out, I'm trying to get in the habit of at least stretching. Usually I need to because I'm sore, and then it's also just a good thing to do. So I've heard, couldn't really tell you why. So I'm gonna spend some time doing that, and then I need to prep out notes for the video I'm gonna film. It's a video on the Bible study tools I use. It'll already be up when you're watching this. I don't usually write out any sort of outline for like exact things I'm gonna say. I just go through and write out things that I wanna make sure I don't forget. So I'm gonna spend some time doing that, and then each time I do kind of a different self-care thing, I will pop it up on the screen, again, to hopefully give you some fun self-care ideas that you can do while you're at home in quarantine, like everybody is right now. So here we go. So this is the notebook I use if I'm gonna ever outline a YouTube video. Let's see what we've got in here. This was for my How I Study the Bible video. Blooper video. Oh yeah, this was my blooper video. Just all the different videos in here. Nice little coffee stain. I use this more so when I first started my channel, but like I said, I do still use it here and there. So just going to take some notes and then we will film. I just finished filming the video and it feels good to have finished that, but guys, I'm so sad. If you follow on Instagram, you would have already seen this, but check it out. I went to go open my Bible and the binding ripped from the leather. I've had this for like 4 years and use it every day, so it's not super surprising, but also I've got all my notes in here and really don't want to get another Bible. And I know that this can probably be fixed, I just don't know how, especially because I'm sure no places are open right now. So if you have a recommendation, leave a comment down below. Yeah, just what I can do to fix this at home, because this is really sad. So I actually need to get some editing done tonight as well, because I'm planning to have a video go live on Monday, but because I'm trying not to do any work on Sundays, it requires a little bit of pre-planning, so I'm going to try to get that finished editing and prepared and scheduled tonight. But before I jump into that, I'm going to paint my nails. I have not painted my nails in forever. I usually get them done maybe once every other month or so. I'll get the gel so they last a long time, but obviously nobody's doing that right now, and so I just want to take a little break and paint paint my nails, enjoy some Netflix, or actually I think I'm gonna watch The Chosen on YouTube. I'm kind of running out of shows to watch. I don't watch a ton typically, and it's really hard for me to get into a show. So if you have suggestions, let me know, but I think I'm gonna watch The Chosen on YouTube. If you don't know what that is, it's, I think, a series on the life and ministry of Jesus. I had some friends tell me about it, and my friend was saying that even though she knows all the different Bible stories from Jesus's life, she's still so, like, it's still so interesting. It's still like she's waiting to see what's gonna happen because it's done really well. So I'm curious to check that out. I watched the, let me show you the intro part of it last night so you can see the guy kind of explains the series at first, and then at the 20-minute mark it starts. So I'm just gonna play that while I am painting my nails. So I'll set you guys up here. Pro tip, if your nail polish is like clumpy and you know when it just like doesn't go on smoothly and it kind of feels sticky and dry, it usually gets like that if you haven't used it in a really long time, or if it's old. If you just take like a little drop of acetone, so like your nail polish remover, and put it in the nail polish and then shake it up, it solves that problem. I had to do that not with this Essie one, but with this top coat one, because it got kind of dry and sticky. So I'm just going to paint my nails, enjoy this show, and then I'm probably also going to FaceTime a friend while they're drying to just catch up, and yeah. Here's how it turned out. Definitely more clear than I thought it was gonna be. I was initially gonna use this color here, but I thought it would be a little bit more pink than it was, and it was pretty much just clear. So I added this more milky, creamy color to it to try to give it a bit more color, but it is still, as you can see, pretty clear. But I'm actually okay with that because my nails tend to chip really easily whenever I use regular polish, so I'm okay with it being a little bit more neutral, because then it'll be less obvious when it inevitably does. So I just finished catching up with a friend. I wanted to share something that I read in my Bible reading this morning that I've just been kind of thinking about throughout the day. I think I like doing this in my vlogs, just sharing little thoughts from my Bible reading in the morning, even though it's not like a Bible study video, just because it's something I read in the day and it's a part of my day as I show these vlogs, and I love being able to weave in that encouragement. And yeah, so today I was in Judges 16 and then also Luke, I forget the chapter, but Judges 16 is the story of Samson and Delilah, if you're familiar. And Samson has this strength and Delilah is trying to figure out what is the secret of his strength, because the Philistines have talked to her and they want her to try to figure this out so that they can take Samson down, basically. And so the first time she asks him, he lies to her and tells her, I think it was like dried up cords of some kind that he tells her first. And then the second time she asks, he says that she needs to use ropes that have never been used before on him, and then he would have no more strength. And so he's continually lying to her, because really the secret of his strength is his hair. He had this covenant with God and he couldn't cut his hair because that's what the secret of his strength was. I mean, really it was God, but it was through the hair that God was giving him that power. And so the first two times Delilah asks what is the secret of his strength, again she's trying to use that against him. He lies. And then the third time she asks, he says basically that she would need to weave together his hair into different locks, I think is how it was phrased, but I think braiding it maybe is what it was referring to, and that would be the secret to his strength, which was also a lie. But notice that it's kind of getting closer to what the actual truth is the more that she's asking him. And then after this it says, and when she pressed him hard with her words day after day, so she's continually telling him like, you're lying to me, you don't trust me, you don't love me, tell me your secret, when really she's out to get him. And so the verse 16 says, she pressed him hard with her words day after day and urged him. His soul was vexed to death. And that just made me think of a proverb. I looked it up. It was Proverbs 27:15. Let me actually just read it to you. It says, a continual dripping on a rainy day and a quarrelsome wife are alike. And so it's really kind of interesting because I feel like the proverb is being lived out in the story of Samson and Delilah, that she was just wearing on him and pressing on him, and it says that he was vexed to death, and he ended up telling her the secret of his strength. She cut off all of his hair and he lost the strength that God had given him. And so read that story if you aren't familiar with it, because it's a cool story and there's a lot more to it. But just briefly, that is the story of Samson and Delilah. And then the second part of my reading was in Luke. Let me find the chapter. Okay, so it's Luke chapter 18, and it's this parable of the persistent widow. But basically the parable is about this widow, and day after day she's going to this judge saying, "Give me justice against my adversary." And then it says in verse 4, "For a while the judge refused, but afterward he said to himself, 'Though I neither fear God nor respect man, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I will give her justice so that she will not beat me down by her continual coming.'" And the message, the point of the parable is that it says, "And the Lord said, hear what the unrighteous judge says, and will not God give justice to his elect who cry to him day and night? Will he delay long over them?" And I've heard this parable before and heard it talked on that it's talking about that persistence in the widow's prayer, and how this unjust judge who didn't have a fear of God, didn't have the fear of man, like he had no motivation to help this widow, yet he was still moved to action because of her persistence. And so it's basically just saying how much more so is God going to be moved by our prayers, by us crying out to him continually in the persistence of it, when he does have that care for us, like the judge didn't, but God does. And so how much more is somebody who's already inclined to want to move going to move with the persistence in prayer? And so I was just kind of thinking about it. It was interesting to read both of those passages today, because in both passages there's this theme of persistence. With Delilah, she is persistently asking Samson to give her the secret of his strength, and ultimately he gives in, he yields to that persistence, and it leads to destruction. And then in this passage in Luke 18, there's also this theme of persistence, but in that case it's being used for good. And so I was just kind of thinking about how persistence can be used for a negative outcome, and it can also be used for a positive outcome. It's that ultimate wearing over time that if somebody is persistently seeking after something, it'll ultimately give way to the result that they're seeking. And again, that can be seeking bad things like the destruction of Samson, or that can be seeking good things. And so kind of two little things that I took away from this is, one, to be persistent in prayer, persistent towards the good things, and then also being aware of what might be persistently influencing me towards something that's not good. Ultimately, Samson's destruction was brought about through this woman he had let close into his life, who he had opened himself up to and let influence him, and she was not a woman of God. And so I think that that is another thing to sort of take from that story, is to have those people who are closest to us, who are really influencing our decisions and who we are sharing our vulnerability with, having those people be people who are really rooted in God, who we're going to be able to trust as we share that vulnerability with, and who are ultimately going to point us and steer us and encourage us to him. So that's my little Bible reading thought from this morning that I wanted to share. I'm gonna do a face mask now. Take my makeup off and do a face mask before I kind of just end the night with editing. I want to show you though the face mask I use, because it is the best. Here is the face mask I use. It is bentonite clay in like this powdery form. So I actually had a friend recommend this to me. Let me flip myself around. I had a friend recommend this to me when I was trying to switch over to natural deodorant. I say trying because I have not been able to find one that doesn't burn, honestly. I don't know if I have sensitive armpits or what, but anywho, when you switch over to natural deodorant, it's a good idea to do a little mask on your armpits first, because the whole reason you switch over, little spiel, is because it's like clogging up your sweat ducts with things that are not good, and this helps clear them out and sort of unclog those things and pull the toxins out of your armpits before you start using the natural stuff. So I bought this when she had recommended that to me to use for my armpits, but then found out that it's actually a really good face mask too, and it's used for that. Bentonite clay is in a lot of the face masks you'll buy from like skincare brands or whatever. So you take 1 part of this and then 1 part apple cider vinegar and mix it together and put it on your face and let it dry. It honestly smells awful because of the apple cider vinegar, but I've never had a face mask that works better than this one. My skin just feels really clean, and yeah, I feel like it's like firmer too, and my pores definitely feel like they're smaller when I use it. And so I'm gonna do that. I'll link this stuff below if you want to check it out. I just got it on Amazon. Warning though, if you do it, it makes your skin really, really red, or at least it does for me, for like at least probably an hour after I take it off. And so don't do it if you have somewhere to go right after, or I would probably even do it at the end of the day when you're not going to be wearing makeup, but that's just me. That's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to take off my makeup and then I'll show you how I mix it and we'll put it on. All right, so here's how you make it, or here's what it looks like. It looks pretty gross, honestly. Like I said, it's just 1 part of each. And then I like to take a fork to try to kind of mix it. It gets kind of bubbly, as you can see, but yeah, it works. And you don't need a lot. I honestly probably made way too much, but I mean, I got a big old thing of it, so oh well. here's what it looks like on. I've had it on for like a couple minutes, so it's starting to dry. I said before to keep it on for 10 minutes, but really it's just until it starts to dry, and as you can see, the lighter parts are where it's starting to dry. And I kind of put a lot on, so this might actually take like 20 minutes, but you'll start to feel it. You'll know when it's ready. My eyes are like watering. It's very tingly. So I'm just gonna get started on editing, and then I'll take a break to wash this off once it's ready. I just finished up editing for the night and made myself a nice cup of tea. Ow, it's hot though. I think I'm actually going to watch some more of The Chosen before I get ready for bed. I really agree with what my friend said. Even if you know all the stories, it is so intriguing and I've really been liking it. So definitely recommend checking that out. You can see my face is still a little bit red, not nearly as red as it was when I first took the mask off. My skin definitely feels really clean after using it. And so anywho, I hope that you enjoyed this fun little self-care vlog and that maybe it gave you some ideas of how to sprinkle that into even a work day. I am going to go ahead and end the vlog here. So if you did enjoy this, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and then also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.